Well, you may think it's odd that you see me this way. I'm in a rental car in Toledo, Ohio. We're going to go up to Detroit and some of the locations up there where there's still places that exist of where the original cars were made way back when cars were just invented. So it's going to be kind of neat. We're going to go to the Jeep facility. That I know for sure. I'm not really sure where we'll go other than that, but hang on. This is a little bit different than normal adventures in trucking, although we will cover trucking stuff too if we see it. I'm Indiana Jack. Thanks for riding along. Let's get on the road. Well, we've got Rand here, of course. Got to take Rand wherever you go. It's good to have a Rand McNally with you. The first place we're going to go is the original Jeep factory right here in Toledo, Ohio, to see what's still happening over there and see if it still exists. So if you have a Jeep, even if you don't have a Jeep, but if you like vehicles, everyone knows what a Jeep is. Let's go over there and check it out and see what's still existing of the original Jeep factory. Prior to 1940, the term Jeep had been used as U.S. Army slang for new recruits or vehicles. But the World War II Jeep that went into production in 1941 specifically tied the name to this light military 4x4, arguably making them the oldest four-wheel drive mass production vehicle known to us as SUVs. I would imagine a structure like this that still exists, that kind of looks old, is part of the original foundation or part of the only thing that is still left of Jeep here on Jeep Drive. The Jeep Parkway Annex was opened in 1904 as actually a bicycle factory. Its use as an automobile assembly plant dates from 1910 when it was purchased by Willys Overland. The plant began producing the Jeep in the 1940s and was renamed the Toledo Assembly Plant when Chrysler purchased American Motors in 1987. Basic assembly and painting of the Wrangler body was done at the Jeep Parkway plant through 2006 when it was closed. Well, according to Google Maps, this is actually the original location. It's like hallowed ground here on Jeep Drive of where the original factory was. Now it's this building. Has something probably to do with automobiles, but it's kind of interesting. Just another part of American history, American manufacturing that doesn't exist anymore. I think what we'll do now is go over to the Chrysler location, which is just 4 miles from here, and see what's over there, see if anything exists that reminds us of Jeep. Or that is Jeep. I love all these old Americana tree-lined streets. Wouldn't you like to live in a neighborhood like this?
In 300 feet, turn left on East Manhattan Boulevard and then turn left in 300 feet.
It's part of America that's gone now. It still exists, but not where I live. Hey, that guy has the right idea. For those of you that are Jeep lovers, you could just move here and be engulfed in Jeep. Nothing but Jeep here in this town. The Toledo complex is an automobile factory in Toledo, Ohio. Now owned by Chrysler, sections of this facility have operated as an automobile assembly plant since 1910, originally for Willys Overland vehicles. We are definitely in familiar territory now. This is the truck entrance, so I imagine if you are a driver, you would come in this entrance for drive-in anyway. I don't know where car haulers go. Probably the other side. All right, this is the current facility. There's Jeeps as far as the eye can see. Just a sea of Jeeps here at the Chrysler building. The Chrysler Toledo Assembly Complex, they call it. Man, if you like Jeeps, this is the place to come for Jeep spotting. Since we're kind of talking about cars today, or Jeeps, we're going to do one more thing. We're going to go to a place that you probably thought it was made in Detroit, or at least I did. The very first cars that rolled off of an assembly line were made not in Detroit, which I didn't know that. They were made in Highland Park, Michigan, where a guy named Henry Ford made the first assembly plants, as we know today, and rolled out the first Model T Fords right there from the factory. So let's go look at that. That'll be interesting. Here's some facts about Henry Ford and the Model T. On October 7th, 1913, the Highland Park Ford plant became the first automobile production facility in the world to implement the moving assembly line. The new assembly line improved production time for the Model T from 728 to 93 minutes. The Highland Park assembly line lowered the price of the Model T from $700 in 1910 to $350 in 1917, making it an affordable automobile for most Americans. Right here on the side of the actual building. It's really fascinating, touching a piece of history here in Michigan. I'm Indiana Jack. Thanks for riding along with me, even though this was kind of a different little trip we did. Seeing where they made the first Model T Fords right here, not in Detroit, but Highland Park, Michigan. Well, we're back here in the Toledo area returning the rent-a-car, and that was so interesting seeing some of those car things. My grandfather and my dad worked for Studebaker, so I naturally have an interest in cars and where cars were made. So that's why we did this today. Thanks for riding along with me. I'm Indiana Jack. Ha 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 ha!